Hey guys, so today let's get started with the CSS or cascading style sheets. So for this video, I'll be using brackets. If you want to use brackets, you can download it from this site brackets.io, and it is an source code editor like VS Code. You can use VS Code or brackets. Both are same. VS Code is more professional, but for this video, I'm using brackets as I am more familiar with brackets. Similarly to VS Code, you can also uh, add some extensions if you want to your brackets and change the themes and other stuff. Like you can search many extensions, you can change the themes and many more. So without wasting any time, let's get started. This video I'll be keep just giving you a complete introduction to cascading style sheets, because it's not possible to cover everything, every function, and all that stuff. So yeah, so let's create a file with control N. Yeah, we created a file. Let's save it first. uh, you should save a file first. Actually, let's save it here. For example, index. We keep it the name here. We start the HTML tag. It works similar to then head. uh, I suggest you to keep on doing the indentation, as it makes scripting easier, a lot easier. Like my first style page, name it. We are naming it like this, style page. And yeah, and here after the head is body. Okay, yeah, great, good to go. And control for control plus S you can use for saving. So let us firstly create a division. Okay, a div. I've created this division, and on this I am uh, writing a paragraph like this is my first time with CSS. We write this. Yeah. Now I want to apply CSS. So for the basic thing, the CSS starts in header tag. We use in header tag we start the styling by using this style. Yeah. You can also write style type. You will see text.css slash, but in CSS3 it is no longer needed. You can start like this. Okay. So for a division, like I want to manipulate a division, I want to make changes, or I want to add style to this division. I will write the tag name div and start with these curly brackets. I want, what do I want now? I want to set the height. Okay, I want to set its height as 100 pixels. Okay, I want to set its width. Height will set the height, and width will set the width. Okay, it's general. Yeah. Now I also want to. Okay, for now, let's. I now to see the changes, we can change the background color using background property. Background color. What is it? The best thing I see about brackets is that it suggests you all the CSS tags and HTML tags uh, while writing. The same also happens in VS Code, but you have to download multiple different plugins for that. But this thing is by default in brackets. For example, I'm setting it as this. Okay, now save it, and I want to run it. Now 1 minute. Let's do it. Okay, so I think there is some trouble. No problem. We can go ahead with this. There is a file. Yeah. So we added the text and the background to this particular uh, division. Okay, so yeah, uh, it looks good now. Okay, now what can we else do? But if you see, guys, I am adding, if I add another div here and add some other, I want to add another text. This is some paragraph. For example, if I save it and if I run it, so you see, the same changes are applied to this one also, because we are defining the styles for the whole tag, that is the div. So how to differentiate between them? For differentiating between them, we introduce some attributes known as classes and IDs. So what classes and IDs are? We give them a particular identification. There can be one ID for a div, but there can be multiple classes for a division or other tag. That's the difference between the two. For example, I'm giving this a ID, like I give it name first. Okay, and then this I for referring to a ID, you have to start it with hashtag symbol and that first. Now the changes will only be applied to this tag, the first one only. So let's see. You see that? Yeah, that is what I was trying to tell you guys. And if I want to add changes to another one, like take a class here. Let's take a class. Both work same, but you can have multiple in the same app. Both of them work in a similar manner, but there can be multiple classes and there can be only one ID. That's the difference. Like we name it second. So for referring to a class, you have to use this period operator and followed by the class name and styling the tags. I copy paste this and make some changes to that. Okay. Let's keep the width 200 and change the background color. You see, let's keep it aqua. Okay, so they are different now. You see that? So that's the use of classes and ID, and this is the basis. Div tags and class and ID is basis of every well structured HTML page or website. Okay, so far we have discussed height, width, background color, and classes and IDs. So let's get forward with what yeah, with padding. First, padding. What is padding? Padding is like giving. We are setting the boundary internally. For example, let's see first. Padding. Padding 10 or 0. 1 minute. I will show you why I'm writing this um, and how it works. Have you seen some changes in that? No. Let's see. So padding is you, and what if I keep it as 10? You observe some changes? Not yet. Let's see again. Yeah. So padding works in anti-clockwise manner. Like if I write here using this is how we write comments in CSS padding. This padding is actually like we are setting the internal margins. We are separating the division and its content, but with a internal kind of margin, and it used like in a manner like in clockwise manner. That is top, right, bottom, and left. So you see, when I added 10 pixel to that, the top internal margin increased. Then when I added 10 to that, the inner right margin increased, internal one. Okay. So this is the use of padding, and yeah, we can end. And this is also how we can add comments to our CSS script, like this, we used to do in C++ in our school days, the multi-line comments. And now see what are margins. Margins are like uh, like margins. Firstly, let's show you the properties. You can also assign the components of padding, like padding top or padding bottom or padding left or padding right individually as well. For example, in this one we didn't mention the padding for the left side, so we now here we are marking it as 20 pixels. So if we run it, it will add yeah, margin is added to the left side as well. So now I think you can see the difference, how you used to do this. Okay, how we can do this. Okay, now we come to margins. So like padding, and yeah, let's see margins, how margin works. So we can see it here. Margin, like margin works in the similar way. The this one, like we mentioned here, for example, if we write it 10 pixels, then 0 pixel space. See, you can't learn the CSS, different CSS functionalities, because there are so many in number, you can't learn them. So, what you can do is, if you can start writing, and the editors, brackets is doing, they will suggest you, or you can check on the web. For me, the best one available, to best tutorial site available is W3 Schools. You can check out how they are working. For example, if we go with margins, so they have given every possible example here, so that's really good. See, yeah. So okay, so yeah, if we set margin here like this, and if we run it, so no changes seen, because what we think is, no changes seen because there is nothing around it. But if you have noticed, uh, there is kind of gap between those now. Why so? Because margin act like the outside boundaries. For example, if I just keep it 20 and then 20, let's keep it 20 and 20 and save it. So margin is like the outside boundary. So we have set this is 20, this is 20, this is 20. If I add another division below that, it will be separated by 20 pixels, and this thing is also 20. So that is how why margins are used. And you can also uh, mention, also assign the values to particular margin components, like margin using margin hyphen bottom, margin hyphen left, margin hyphen right, and margin hyphen top. Okay, so it works in the similar manner. Yeah. Okay, so let's keep it margin. Okay, so but the give the structure is like this. See, it occurs in clockwise manner, starting from top, then right, then bottom, then left. Okay, if you somewhere forget um, this thing, you can check on web as well, because you can't learn anything. You can't remember everything at the same time. So next we can go forward with font size. Okay, let's go with font size. So what is font size? For example, if I want to assign a font size for a for a for all the given p tags or the paragraph tags, I can use this one. But if I want to increase the font size in a particular division, I am using this. For example, if I start writing font, okay, uh, if font size, I mark this as 20 pixels, or I have to increase it because it will get out of that box. Okay, if we, you see the size is increased. I have increased the boundary size as well, but the size is increased. If I mark it as 40, the font size will increase accordingly to how much value I put in it. You see, yeah. We can also change the font color as well by writing a font color. Sorry, I have to type only color. There is no font color. You have to type only color. If I assign a color, let's see what goes on aqua. uh, Blue will be seen on aqua. You see that? Interesting, right? Yeah, that is how css works. There is other things as well. If I increase the boundary, the width by 800, okay, now we can allow, if we see that mm, our text is aligned to the left side. If you see, what if I want to align it to the right or to the center, or use the justify thing which we used to do in Word, MS Word. So for that you have to use text align, and there are many options if you see here. That's the advantage of using uh, brackets. If you run it, you see that if I give it center now, it will be aligned to center. That's the main advantage of using brackets. So that's text align for you. We can also set uh, yeah, that's all. We can also set text font weight, which also works in the same manner as font size. And yeah, so or there's a thing I wanted to tell you guys. If you want to uh, if you don't know the name of a color you want to add, you can simply type color picker on Google, and it will show you this. Yeah, so here you can choose the color of your choice. For example, I'm choosing let's see, I'm choosing that color. Yeah, this one, this color, I'm choosing this color. So I can copy the RGB value, that is green, red, green, or black mixture, or I can choose this hexadecimal code and copy it, put it here where I mentioned my color. We can use these codes anywhere, in the background color, in the font color, anywhere. If I put it here and save, gotcha. That is how it works. So you can use the online color pickers for finding out the hexadecimal codes for your colors. And the next is I've already told you background color. Let's see background background image. Let's give a background image. Image, we want to give it we have to give a URL. We use URL here, and it will show the files available in, for example, my current directory is my download folder. So it will show you every file available, every folder or file available in this particular thing. For example, this is a image file. So I'll, and yeah, there's also a thing, if you are using only one CSS script in a CSS in this whole thing, then you can ignore using the semicolon. But if you are using the multiple statements, you have to use separate them by semicolon. Okay, similar to what? C++, but there was the thing with parenthesis, but you have to write semicolon every time, but it's opposite here. Okay, so it will set the background image for this particular division to this. For example, I want to set the background image for the complete body. So what will I do? Copy. I will assign it to body. Save it. Run it. You see, well, 1 minute. We can also use. Okay, we didn't removed it. That's why. That's the reason. Okay. Yeah. It is repeating because we didn't mention anything. For example, there's many other things like background size. So here we have two options: background cover. So it will stretch the background and it will cover. Okay. You see that? That is how it works. And we can also add background attachment. Here background attachment is just like fixed, so whenever you scroll the thing is fixed, so will give you some kind of a good look. uh, to show that, I will give you this example of this website, because for showing you this here we have to add multiple divisions here. So let's see, this is the, if in this side, do you see how it looks like? The image is fixed in the background and it is scrolling down. That is what I want to so this is background attachment fixed thing. Okay, so that's what I was trying to tell you. And That's it. You can also set gradients in the background if you want to. For setting gradients, you have to write for using gradients you have to write a lot of code. So I want to uh, tell you some online websites which provide you easy code by selecting what you want to, what colors you want. For example, gradient is like, I want this kind of like, see this image, I want this kind of thing on my background. So, and I can add various colors in that, and you will set the colors here how you want your image to be. Yeah, this. Okay, like I select this one. So for that you have to set and gradients are of two types: linear and radial. So radial gradients are like they emerge from the center, and linear, they emerge linearly or horizontally. Okay, so you can create these codes online, like I copy it to clipboard. I uh, Let's get this all in. Okay, you see that it is lovely, right? And if I change it to linear, so see, I told you earlier that you don't need to remember all of them, just a little bit of them. Well, because you can explore about many other things, and new features are being developed in CSS every day. So you can't learn everything. Okay, that's why I told you not to learn anything, but just remember their basic structure, or you can check about them on internet. Okay. Uh, yeah. So if radial or linear, that's what I was trying to tell you. That's, you can also add gradients. Gradients is like you are combining one or two colors. Okay. Now, okay. Oh, 1 minute. So, you can search on W3 schools about various CSS functions which you can use, because they are available in many number. You can't learn everything at the same time. So uh, next we are going to cover yeah, the borders. Borders, what do you understand by border? Outline around your this division, or outline around some something, yeah. So yeah, let's add a border here. Border. Okay. So in border, you are we write it like, I want my border to be black. I want to, you can set the thickness of the border. Like I want it to be 1 pixel, and how I want it to be like solid. Yeah, let's save it. Do you see that? You can also change that. That is how border works. So there are many functionalities, many things you can do with the border. Like I have write it solid. I can write it like dotted as well. So it will give me a, dotted border. You see. So that is how border works, and you can also manipulate the various attributes of border individually. Like I want to set the bottom thickness of border individually, or of some different color. So like I want it to be blue, I want it to be 3 pixels thick and solid. So it will set the properties only for the bottom border. Like this is the bottom one. Let's see, you see that? That is how you can manipulate them. Okay, so that is about borders. You can also change border radius is like I give this border radius 50% is used for circular. You see that? That is how it works. Border radius 50% will give it a circular look, and if I keep it 200 200, then it will make it a circle. Good one. It's good now. Yeah, it is. So that is how it works actually. That is the main use of borders for giving a outline, if one want to. Next, we have hover functionality. What hover works. So for hovering, yeah, what we can do is, let's give href, or no, yeah, we we have this division we are referring. So we can hovering is like when you move your cursor. So you can use some functionalities to, like, what happens when what you do this. For example, it will show you if that particular division is active, like when someone clicks on it, or by default. So is the first side that on that topic I'm not going to go, because I will try to keep this session very small. So like whenever I hover over this division, it will change the color to let's keep it brown. Okay. So yeah, you see that whenever I hover over this division, it will change the color. It will change the color of the division. That is why hover used, and you must have seen it in on the hyperlinks, the ahref hyperlinks on various websites. Whenever you hover over them, they change the color. That is the use of hover property. Okay, and the next, I've already shown you that you can manipulate the various HTML tags by defining the styles for that particular tag all over your page. And the next is text shadow. How text shadow works is like text shadow. I will show you. For example, uh, like yeah, in text shadow, we are giving. We can assign the shadows for text shadow. Have you seen the 3D look we can see on various websites? That is the work of text shadow. So let's see how it works. Okay, so text shadow, for example, if you are see if it is natural to forget, if you it is natural if you forget any kind of function in css, because it happens with everyone out there. It happens with me, and it can happen with anyone. Okay. Okay, so like I forget the text shadow thing now. Okay, so yeah, we got it. This is the text shadow. Yeah, I remember it now. So for example, I want to give the text shadow of the see, we have two scales here, horizontally and vertically. We can give the shadows in two manner. For example, if I write it only once, it will no changes in 1 minute. Okay, I have to assign it 0. Second one is 0. See, so our text, if you notice that the text shadow is visible only in horizontal manner, not the vertical one. So if I give it like this as well, so it's horizontal as well as vertical. That is how text shadow used. Or you can manipulate it as per like you want to give the shadow some color. For example, I give want to give it white color. So you see, it looks cool, right? We have given the it the shadow in horizontally and vertically, and given it the red color as the white color as well. So that is how text shadow work. Okay, I think you must have get a kind of idea how it works. Okay, and now the next one is opacity. If I want to, opacity is like have you seen there are three things like transparent, translucent, and opaque things. So translucent, in the translucent, transparent things are you can see completely below it, and in the translucent you can see it partially. So that is on how opacity works. For example, if I mention opacity, by default the opacity is 1. The thing is transparent. The thing is opaque. Sorry, if it is 0, see the whole division is completely transparent now. And if I mark is 0.8, it is partially transparent now. See that you can see the below text as well. So that is the use of opacity. We are giving introducing a translucent or the partial transparency feature in that. That is the use of opacity. So the next thing is uh, let's create another division, that is div class third. Okay, div class third, and I given it CSS3. The current version of CSS is 3. Cascading style sheet is 3. And yeah, so let's give this division some properties. Third, width 100 pixels, height 100 pixels, background red. uh, okay, background red. And so far, by introducing transition, you will see you will just see what it will happen. It will give it a kind of animative look. It is not perfectly animation, but a kind of animative look which can be delayed or happens over time, over the passage of time, like 4 seconds. And I'm defining dot third on over the width written. Copy, paste. Let it be 200 and let it be 300. Save. Yes, we've saved it, and let's see. So whenever I hover over it, you see this kind of thing. This is how transition works. It gives it kind of an animative look. So you can, there are various other transition properties, like a timing function. You can like ease in out, and there are various functions available which you can read on W3 schools. Or timing duration, how longer it happens. For example, I have given it this 2 seconds. This is the timing duration, and the time you can also delay the transition. That is how transition works. So the last thing I want to tell you is let's keep it. Let's make another, yeah, or yeah, let's make another division. Copy and paste. 4 CSS HTML. Let's name it as JS. Okay. And for that, for animations, now we are trying to understand what animations are. For animations, you have to give a keyframe. Keyframe is like we are defining some rules for this particular animation. For example, let's name it F1. Okay. So from background red, okay, to background yellow, okay. And we have defined a keyframe rule, and let's define the rules for the fourth. Like width is 100 pixels, height is also 100 pixels, and the background color initially is red. And we are naming, now we start animation. There are various, you can see various functions. We are using a animation name. Any guesses what the animation name will be? This one, we have defined the rules, and this is the animation name here. F1 is the animation name. We can also set the animation duration as like see 4 seconds. And we can also give animation delay, like animation delay 1 second. Okay, let's see what happens. uh, you see, on hover, or not, it happens not on hover. You will see if like it happens on hover. Let's reload the page. So that's after 1 second delay, there is a color change. We can also set some things like in this, like 0%. We can also give it like that, or as well 0%, 25%, uh, and let's copy paste, copy 50%, 100%, and let's give it a blue color. uh, let's give it a brown color. So the animation will happen with a delay of 1 second, and will go on with for the next 4 seconds. Let's see how. Now how, see, it is changing color. So that is how animation works. So we have come to the end of our introduction session or to uh, CSS. Last thing I want to tell you is like you can the see we have if you see that we have mentioned all our CSS scripts in style tag. You can also mention it individually, like we are want to add style to this. What style I want to add is like I want to increase the font. I want to change the, let's remove one of the command from above. um, cut, copy and cut. Okay, and let's give it here, so it will remain same. We can also, this thing is known as inline css, like we are giving it inline, or the and style is an attribute here, and these are us, this is our css. Okay, you see there is no change because we have mentioned the color in inline css. If I remove it and save it, it will turn. That was what I was trying to make you understand. uh, okay, and there's another thing like external css, which you can do with like linking the files. Link, I want to link a file. Okay, how I want to link the file, what is the relation I want to, I can mention the relation as style sheet. Style sheet. Okay, style sheet. 1 minute. Style, style sheet. Okay, and and after the style sheet, you can mention your there you see there are various functions you can use here. For example, if I am using href here, I can mention a file. For example, let's see, make a new file, uh, and I copy all my css commands here, copy and paste them here. Okay, let's save this one in the same directory. I mean index.css. Let's name it .css. Please remember to name it as .css. And okay, let's cut them from here. Okay, and if I mention the name here, say index uh, index.css. See that if we add this, link it here, so our file is linked and our styles will remain intact because it is taking the css script from this file which we linked and mentioned here. So this is known as external css. I hope you guys liked this session, and if you have any query, and then you can write in the comment section. uh, I will be there to answer to your queries. uh, Thank you guys, and at last I want to tell you to go and explore because there is many much more to learn like for from about css on w3 schools or any other tutorial website. I will say that you should learn from w3 school because they have these things where you can run the your that particular code piece as well, which they have given to you. Okay, so there are many other things. Sorry, due to strictness of time, I can't mention every uh, function, css function in this tutorial, so you can go and explore on your own self. But I think that I must have given you a quick head start so that you can start with the css uh, on your own. So thank you guys. If you like this video, then please like, do comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe the channel of TSC PGDAV for more interesting videos on web development or machine learning as well. Thank you, guys.